Yay! We get to start today making fun of / dunking on another hilariously bad article. This time coming after the bad boys of YouTube. That's right, the quartering Clean Prince Gaming and the ever controversial Young Yeah, one of the biggest provocateurs in the gaming area. That's right, some of the most notable faces in the concocted controversy. From left to right, we have the quartering, Clean Prince Gaming, and Young Yeah. By the way, why didn't you link to Young Yeah? I thought it was really interesting that you decided not to do that. And on top of that, Young is probably the most milquetoast games commentator in the entire space. I don't understand how he ends up in this article, but of course it is GG's latest targets are Cyberpunk 2077 critics. Now, I don't think that that's necessarily true. I can't say that I've seen all of Clean Prince Gaming's videos on Cyberpunk 2077, but I know the videos I've made, and I know the type of man Young Yeah is, first of all. So, first of all, Young, I guarantee, isn't doing that. Pretty sure Clean Prince isn't either, and I know for a fact I haven't. I've definitely taken apart, dismantled the ideas, some of the critiques that have been levied, but definitely not anything personal. But the article goes on to say, if GG was ever consistent at something, it's that they've mastered the manipulation of the news cycle to their advantage by fabricating controversies predicated on the overarching conspiracy by the left, or SJWs, to perverse their entertainment. Such a thing, of course, was never on the table, and it's all but a ruse to get the attention of GGers away from their idols, financially predatory behavior. Simply put, GG gains more by keeping their issue of choice and active discussion, even when the persistence requires it to cannibalize each other's story in the wake. Cyberpunk 2077 headline GG's concerns at E3 just concluded, and for all the reasons not entirely unfamiliar. Now, first of all, I don't know anybody who still identifies as being part of that. I wasn't even making this type of videos back when everything was going on. The reason that people keep putting that in headlines is some weird attempt to smear people, or some attempt to get bait, because just like TDS, people see that in the headline and they click because they've never really gotten over it. And I think most of that is because they lost. Now, what this article goes on to talk about is, of course, all of the ridiculous criticism that Cyberpunk 2077 got over a poster depicting a man, or a transhuman with a nice big pole in a tight bodysuit. Whatever. Most people that played the game never would have even noticed it, but the media desperately needed something to be upset about because that's all they can write about. And I understand it, because here on this channel, I do cover a lot of that same sort of thing. So I'm not, totally unaware that I cover something simple or something similar, although I will say that I don't make it up, unlike they do. Now, after the dust of the impressive announcement settled, CDPR released screenshots of the game taken from its PC version, and of them included an advertisement poster of a trans woman with her junk visibly bulging upwards, used to sell soda. Now, the artist of this photo or picture or whatever came out and gave a very solid reason as to why that picture was in there, and the fact that they were making a statement how corporations would use this type of thing to push soda, and then that was bad. So I think it fits totally thematically with the game, except nobody seemed to be covering that aspect. The unusual part wasn't that CDPR had controversial imagery, or that left-wingers are particularly sensitive to problematic depictions of women. It was more about how overblown such as an assertion of GG's side that SJWs and the PC crowd would not shut up about Cyberpunk 2077's said depictions. See, this is where we get to an absolute lie. There were articles covering this on every single major video games outlet. I myself covered articles on Rock, Paper, Shotgun, Kotaku, Polygon, Eurogamer has articles. Everybody wrote articles about how this was, quote, problematic. Twitter was full of thousands, tens of thousands of hot takes about this. So the idea that this was no big deal is just a flat out lie, or the fact that this person who shall not be named, because I know that they use our names just because nobody else would read their articles anyway. By the way, the archived link will be in the description below should you want to read the article but not send any traffic or reward this type of behavior. Having following E3, there's controversy and audience reaction, just like the response to CDP or Cyberpunk 2077, blah, 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 Gamergate, blah, blah, blah. A good gauge for the profile of a controversy is usually the type of neutral search term on YouTube to see what the first results pertain to any closely on the terms being searched, or it has conversely been flooded by algorithmically exploitative fit of rage and outcry. Again, I haven't seen any videos full of rage. This is a common lie that is put forth. We saw it with the pathetic CNET piece and many of these other pieces. They like to say everyone's outraged. A lot of, for example, my critics will say that, you know, I'm so angry. I'm not. I'm just pointing stuff out. I mean, you'll know if I'm angry. People that view me regularly can tell the difference if I'm just covering something or if I'm actually angry about it. But then they go on to, sure enough, when I typed in YouTube search box Cyberpunk 2077, brings up the first 2 pages of notable gaming provocateurs, Clean Prince Gaming and Young Yeah. To call Young Yeah a gaming provocateur is absurd. Clean Prince does get a little spicy, just like I do, so maybe. But again, using that term provocateur is a term, as a way to smear you, to delegitimize your coverage, to say that you're only covering something because it's spicy, not because it's also newsworthy. The fact of the matter is my best videos are the videos where it is in fact a spicy topic, but also newsworthy. Those are then followed up by the game's official YouTube channel, only to be flooded by, once again, the content of incendiary tone by the usual suspects, the Quartering, Legacy Kill HD, Geeks and Gamers, Downward Thrust, among others. Now, this person has in the past written about me and these other YouTubers. Remember that if you're logged into YouTube, you're going to get suggested videos from content creators that you often look at. So it's very likely that this person was getting recommended my videos and Young Ya's videos because they watch our videos. But of course, they didn't bother putting that in there, or they're too stupid to understand that's how the algorithm works. The content of the analysis wasn't necessarily misleading. Alex, like Kotaku, Polygon, and Rock, Paper, Shotgun all have come out with mild reservations against the problematic depiction of Haitians and trans people in the trailer. BS. They weren't mild at all. The RPS article was like 6 paragraphs of fake outrage about it. However, what's taken a quite exaggerated note is the amount of news cycle stock GG adjacent commentators have falsely purported as being huge, when in fact it's overshadowed by a general sense of satisfaction around what Cyberpunk 2077 has shown at E3. Well, yeah, real gamers, people that aren't purveyors of absurd hot takes, are just pumped for the game. I mean, if anybody's mad, they're mad that it's coming out next year and not this year. Of course, everyone's very excited. I mean, you're all breathtaking. In the light of probably one of the best memes of 2019 in Keanu Reeves, I would say if you put all of the, response in a pile, it would probably be 10,000 to 1, where you have people that were excited versus not excited, or upset. In RPS's case, the alleged instigator of the controversy, the game wasn't discarded as ineffectual but otherwise bad, as it was a case with previews, expectations adjust, blah, 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 blah. Cyberpunk 2077 wants to be taken seriously as a game about a larger theme than the sum of its parts. It wants to delve deep into the machinations of a broken capitalistic dystopia where corporate interests of the rich few outweigh the needs of the disenfranchised many. Okay, yes. Now, creative leads have come out swinging of the gate swinging just to avert any potential bad PR outcomes. So it's difficult to accept that Cyberpunk 2077's world is the kind in which people in general, regardless of race, just end each other for all kinds of bad reasons, says Young in his video, commenting on the issue. Elsewhere, the Quartering stated in his video by saying, Cyberpunk 2077, cool game you got there. Would be a shame something happened to it. And later accused Anita Sarkeesian of extorting CDPR for consulting money, as well as regurgitated an already debunked falsehood about her being one of the reasons BioWare's last two games, Mass Effect Andromeda and Anthem, have been poorly received. Well, I mean, you can say that that idea is false, but you don't prove anything. You don't provide any real reasons about it. You just say, well, he's wrong because I said so. Good investigative journalism there. Now, do I think that those games failed solely because Anita Sarkeesian consulted on them? No, of course not. But I'm pretty sure that there was nothing that she did that helped them. The other thing you accuse me of is saying that you don't think she was trying to extort them. I think basically everybody who watched my video and read those tweets absolutely felt that that's what she was trying to do by saying, well, you know, if you would hire me, maybe you wouldn't have stepped in it so bad. And, you know, that, of course, tweet was retweeted by the Outrage Army. It's a Gundam also echoed similar sentiments. He further added political dimension to the debate by complaining that people are trying to interject their own politics and personal beliefs into a stupid video game based off a far-off dystopian future. You know, yeah, okay. What this has been further by its offensive response by the creator, IP CDPR's game is based on Mike Pondsmith, who has deflected accusations of racial inadequacy by advising people that dish it out that to their uncles at Thanksgiving dinner. Right. Mike Pondsmith came out and said, look, sit your butt down. Stop telling me, a black man, what to be offended by. These articles are hilariously bad and make assertions. I can't imagine spending all of this time and doing literally no research. You watched our videos and then you just said, oh, we're wrong because we're provocateurs. No, I don't think so. We cover interesting topics just like any news outlet would. Now, do I consider myself a news or a journalist? Not really. I consider myself an entertainer. But the fact of the matter is you cover topics that are interesting. But again, we get into the same conversation. YouTube's algorithm is almost systematically wired to favor feelings over facts. Wrong. Prove it. You can't. And that it's in misrepresentation of facts that resides in a lot of anger by toxic online nerd culture at what have been so far superficial complaints over an insignificantly small portion of yet another product in our modern consumerist hexscape. Yeah, well, you know what I like to do with bad articles like this? Remind people that I have a subscribe star where 304 of you heroes have signed up. It's just like Patreon, but it's better because more of the money goes to the creator and they support free speech. It's a little bit bigger of a pain in the butt to back people because they don't use PayPal, but you can still back using your credit card or bank account, and I appreciate all of you. So if you decide to back the Quartering here, today would be a great day because I like to farm. I like to turn hit pieces into good things. I hope you enjoyed this video. I think this article is absolutely ridiculous. If you do, remember to click that thumbs up button and drop a comment down in the comment section down below. We'll talk to you again real soon.